Welcome to Paige's Lessons, a podcast dedicated for those who seek advice and wisdom on how to become the best versions of themselves in the most authentic way. If you identify as someone who is ambitious, goal-driven, and a badass, you've come to the right place. Self-reflection, mental health awareness, and exploring life's transitions is at the heart of our conversations because I truly believe every single day provides a lesson. I'm your host, Paige Mitchell, a board-certified life coach, motivational speaker, and mental health advocate. I can't wait to share these golden nuggets with you. Welcome to a new episode of Paige's Lessons, and this time it's travel edition, bitches. I'm going all over the place, and every episode I'm breaking it down, whether that's a new city or a new country or just a new life lesson that I gotta talk to you about. I gotta give you the tea, because I'm not a gatekeeper up in here, all right? We're not doing that. We're letting you know what's going on. So I've been contemplating this episode about recording it and how I want to say it and what I want to break down and the lessons that I've learned on this. So you know what, to be honest with you, yeah, I cheated a little bit and took some notes of what I wanted to say, but the actual lessons and the feelings behind it, this is going to be some improvisation. So first things first, I actually went on a plane. It's been since the 4th of July that I haven't been on an airplane since I did my one-way ticket to London. So going to Ireland was my first time going on a plane after several months. So this has been kind of cool because I've just been taking the bus and train everywhere. And it was my first time flying Ryanair. Now this is not a sponsor. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get an ad or anything like that. But I just want to give you my experience of Ryanair. And the first thing that I'll say is I heard nothing but rumors from everyone about how shitty this airline is. I've heard nothing but negative comments about, oh, it's just like Spirit or insert whatever shitty airline from the States. And because it was dirt cheap, it was like 20 euros. It was super cheap, and I didn't buy extra for baggage or anything like that. So I kind of didn't know what I was in for. And the only reason I purchased a ticket too is because to Ireland, specifically out of the UK. So I purchased a ticket to Dublin because I had to prove to customs that I'm leaving the UK. But guess what? Customs didn't give a shit. I didn't really have to buy an actual ticket because they didn't even need proof. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Lessons learned. But I was over-prepared. Hey, it's okay. It's better to be over-prepared. But anyway, so my Ryanair experience was actually really well. It was fine. Like I said, I didn't buy the baggage, and I was going back and forth in my head because, as you know, and if you've been listening, I only have a 55-liter bag. That's it. It's definitely, it's bigger than a proper carry-on, but it's definitely not something to check in. It's like a happy medium. But I was able to, I just thought, you know what, Paige, just gamble it. If they're gonna make you charge extra, fine. But I really didn't want to have it checked because I was gonna have to jump on a coach right away, which is a bus for folks in America. I don't know, it's called a coach. Anyway, I had to catch one right after my plane, so I was scared. I didn't know how baggage claim was gonna work, all that stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna pray that I can just put it in the overhead bin and they won't say anything, that they're not actually gonna check me. And you know what? They didn't. So Ryanair, thank you for letting me breeze through. And then we loaded the plane outside on the tarmac, which was I've never done that before. So that was kind of cool. But there's also no fucking guidance. There's 2 different ways to enter the plane. And clearly based on your where you're sitting is what queue you go in. but no one fucking told me. So I don't know. That was a little unorganized, but that's okay. The plane itself was fine. It was a quick trip. Everyone was quiet. No turbulence. I don't know. I'm having good reviews, Ryanair. So, and for a dirt cheap ticket and letting me just breeze through, and even a lady next to me, she's like, I can't believe they let you through that bag. And I was like, yeah, because I was able to make it very small. I don't know what I did. I kind of removed, I have a lot of shit like hanging off of it, you know, like tags and carabiners and shit, you know, so I made it look really clean and compact. So I think I'm just gonna do that from now on, is just like make it look small so that no one questions me. But anyway, it was funny. I was getting grief from like some random stranger about it. So yeah, got off the plane, took a coach from Dublin to Belfast. Now, I didn't really do my research very well, kids. This is a lesson for you. I didn't do my research. I truly thought Dublin and Belfast was an Uber ride away. It's maybe half hour. Look on the map. It doesn't look that far. No, bitch. Like, I had to book an actual coach. It took a while. It took a few hours to get there. So I also didn't really do my research about North and South Ireland. I really didn't know much about basically the, what is it called? It's like the Government of Ireland Act in 1920 that passed through the British Parliament, and really having to do with the separation of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, right? Because Northern Ireland remain part of the UK. They're still using pounds as their currency, mainly made up of Protestants. And the South is Catholics. I mean, there's Catholics everywhere, let's be honest, but the Republic of Ireland was Dublin. So I didn't even know that history, and so luckily I had a friend educate me throughout my trip in Ireland. That was really helpful to piggyback that information. But yeah, so that was just a lesson in itself of just like the history. And let me tell you, when I got to Belfast, I got to city center. Was not really impressed with the city. It felt really gloomy, and it's not even the weather. It was kind of just low vibes. I couldn't explain it to you. I just wasn't feeling very energetic or vibrant. It just felt low energy. It was similar to Liverpool, how I just was kind of like, man, this is just kind of another city, like whatever. So my Airbnb in Belfast it's actually called Hollywood, with one L, and it's literally so fucking north. I'm like on the beach. It's very like eerie, fucking dark, gloomy beach up there. No sunshine. But it was a nice little Airbnb, and I was there purely for the reason that the Killers, my favorite band in the entire world, was playing in Belfast. Now, they were playing in this big field. I can't recall the name right now, but they were playing in this massive festival field thing. That was maybe like a half hour from where I was staying. So also Uber and things was not easy, but that's all right. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm here for the Killers, because my 13-year-old self, who has been in love with Brandon Flowers, the lead singer, forever. I'm excited. I'm excited to be like in the environment of like the Killers, because they put on such a fucking good show. I think I've seen them like 3 or 4 times in my life, and so I was just like so excited. It's been like 10 years since I've seen them, so that's a lie. It's been like 5, but it felt like 10. So I was just like so excited to like see my favorite band in a new city, a new country. Like, how cool. So I got to the concert, and I was like really overwhelmed by how massive this field was. And I I just, like, there was a Ferris wheel, there was just like so many people, and there was a lot of people like 10 to 20 years older than I was. I didn't really see anyone my age. Now, I think that's part of the reason is because the person opening for the Killers was the lead guitarist from the Smiths, Johnny Marr. So it was a big, like, Smiths crowd. It was really rad. And then Johnny ended up playing with the Killers as well on some songs, I think. So that was really fun. But yeah, it was just an interesting vibe. But age doesn't fucking matter. Like, I had such a good time. I was dancing. They played, their hits, obviously. They played When You Were Young, and Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, Smile Like You Mean It, Read My Mind, obviously Mr. Brightside. And, excuse me, as I cough into the mic, there's no pause on this recording, so this is some raw shit, you guys. Sorry, I'll try to, like, not cough in the recording. But anyways, so yeah, I was, like, super excited. They were playing all the oldies, and I just wish it went on longer because they didn't do an encore, and I was really sad. But overall, it was a really good show. I just was screaming and yelling, and part of why my voice hurts. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. But you know what? Getting home was a fucking shit show. Like, it was, like I said, the Uber to get to my place, no one wants to drive there. Like, it's the fucking sticks. So that was really hard. And then I think Belfast in general, like, everything closes like at 9, like it just was like not helpful. So I eventually got home safe and sound. But yeah, I just ended up being in Belfast for a few days, and to be honest, I was ready to leave. No disrespect at all. It just, the city wasn't for me. It didn't feel right. So after that concert, it was really fun. I loved it. But yeah, it was just a lesson as well of like, make sure you know where you're going, kids. Make sure you are Googling appropriately the distance of where you need to go. And another lesson too is just like, sometimes don't hype the experience so much and just be pleasantly surprised. And I was like, I wasn't like, I knew I was going to have a good time at the Killers, guaranteed, but like, I didn't know like what was going to unfold, who I was going to meet and things like that. And so it was just really nice to just like be surprised and just enjoy the moment, being present. I mean, that's a huge fucking like theme throughout all episodes is me being present. But I'm definitely gonna link my Spotify playlist in the show notes for you of just my favorite Killers songs. And yeah, I just had a really good time. So thank you, Belfast, for hosting the Killers, and thank you, Killers, always for making me just embrace my inner child and, screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs to words and you feel, and like now I'm in this like very different, part of my life, 20 whatever years later. It's really fucking cool. So overall, really great experience. But next episode, I'm gonna break down Dublin. Okay, first time in Dublin. Can't wait to talk to you about it. See you next episode.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or head over to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Subscribing and posting a review helps to improve engagement and is essential for the podcast to be discovered by new listeners. Thanks again for listening, and remember, every day provides a lesson. Take care.